Hello, Lobo Nation. Welcome back once again to the principal's office for a quick update video before we get rolling tomorrow. There's just a couple of topics I need to hit. First is the daily screener. I'm also going to cover lunch schedules, and then I'm going to talk about passes out of class. Those are a couple questions that I've gotten over the last couple of days, so I want to hit those real quick, and then that'll be it. So let's get started. Okay, so let's take a second and look at the student daily screener. These are the things that we're asking each parent to do with their student prior to sending them to school each day. The very first thing is to take their temperature. As long as the temperature is below 100 degrees, then they're okay to send to campus. The other deals with, has a student tested positive for COVID, or have they come into contact in the last 14 days with someone who has a positive COVID test? Those are pretty self-explanatory. Then obviously we're going to want you to keep the student home. The last one is the one that I think people get kind of hung up on. It says, has your student recently begun experiencing any of the following symptoms? But you got to keep reading. It says, in a way that is not normal for you. So there's a list of things there that are symptoms that we've gotten from a list from the Texas Education Agency. But again, it says, in a way that is not normal for you. So if your student has allergies and they wake up pretty much every morning with a congestion in their nose, then that's not something that you need to count as a COVID symptom. I mean, that's something that happens to them daily. Make sure that we're only looking at in a way that is not normal for the student, that you can count those. If the answer to this question is yes, they have the symptoms, then yes, we do want you to keep the student home that day. And you can contact the campus nurse and she'll be able to give you any information on that. The next most asked question I get deals with which lunch is my student going to have, especially for the parents who are at home. They want to know what time to set up for their student during lunch. Your fourth period teacher will let you know, but I'm going to go ahead and just go through it now just so everybody has an understanding before you get to fourth period. The first is A lunch. A lunch is going to be science and social studies. So if your student has science or social studies for fourth period, they will take A lunch. B lunch is math and electives. So if your student has math or any elective, that's yearbook, career and tech, Spanish, whatever the case may be, any elective class is going to have second lunch or B lunch. And then C lunch is going to be PE and ELA. So if your student has English or PE, then they will have C lunch every day. Okay, so the last thing that I've gotten questions on the last couple of days was how are we going to be doing passes? So if your student's in class and needs to go to the restroom, how are we going to work that? We really didn't want to have paper passes that they held on to, because then they're having to give it to the teacher and the teacher's having to sign it and give it back to them, and then they're having to keep up with it, and then they got to put it somewhere whenever they go to the bathroom and things like that. So we're going to create what's known as a Google form that's tied to a Google Sheet, and it'll have a QR code. So here's what a QR code looks like. The student is literally just going to go up to the QR code in the classroom, will be posted probably by the door. The student will go either take their phone or their laptop, scan the QR code, a form will pop up, they just put their name, their ID number, their teacher, where they're going, and then the teacher will be able to approve them to leave the room in order to go do that. We're only going to let one student out at a time. The beauty of this system is that the moment that they fill out that form, it automatically lets every administrator and teacher in the building know that this student is leaving the room. It's timestamped, says exactly when they left and where they're going. So as we have people patrolling the halls, and they come across a student, they can say, where are you supposed to be going? They can pull it up on their phone and say, well, it says you're supposed to be going to the bathroom, or it says you're supposed to be going to the counselor. So making sure that we keep a small number of students out of the classroom at any one time, but still allowing a safe way in order for them to leave the classroom and then get back. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hit all the topics I needed to cover. We're really looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a great day. If you have any questions, again, make sure you send in those to griffink@lpisd.org, and I will get them answered just as quickly as humanly possible. Other than that, everybody have a great holiday, and we will see you guys tomorrow.